documents that I'm being forced to find, it certainly looks like Kentucky is probably a major player right now.
Calum McAndrew of the Columbia Daily Tribune here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. And if it goes that expected route, how should Mizzou folks feel about a player who was their best player last 2 years, very instrumental to their success, and then there becomes the scenario that'll be inevitable at that point where he comes to Columbia, Missouri as an opponent for a team that it most years seems like a team that Mizzou just cannot get past, and that's the case for a lot of SEC teams. Kentucky's obviously a blue blood, but the way that Mizzou should react and maybe remember Mark Mitchell through those ramifications is how do you see that?
Yeah, another complicated one. Because again, kind of touching on what I understand why people would be disappointed. This is a guy you loved. This is a guy that really a low point for the program after that 0-19 season came in and did help turn it around. Look, those seasons didn't get to where a lot of people wanted them to go with a couple of first round exits. But when you think about how low it got there for a second, Mark Mitchell was instrumental in helping turn that around. He is one of the most talented players to come through Missouri in the past decade. He a very, very good player. I don't think people should boo him. I don't think that would, and we're obviously dealing in strictly hypotheticals here. Absolutely nothing has been settled. The court case hasn't even had its hearing yet. I mean, the NCAA loses every single one of these, so we all know where this is going. But you know what? I think you can have a little bit of nuance here. I think you can respect what he's done and then realize, well, he's also, he's probably landing a financial windfall if and when this happens. So you can respect that side of it, and then you can say, well, actually, you don't play for us anymore, so you don't have to be 100% respectful. But I think, I don't know, I think it would behoove Missouri fans to show somebody who did, by all accounts, really love his time here, really did help change the trajectory of the program at a low point. I think it would behoove them to treat that with some respect and admiration for a guy who did really enjoy his time in Columbia.
And I honestly rack my brain, Calum, to figure out what will happen. And of course, you're putting the correct caveats out there. The journalistic integrity of this is not a foregone conclusion.
Right.
I am wearing a different hat saying, oh man, this sucks, therapy session time. But what's crazy is like what makes it more difficult, right? Like you can think of, let's even look at like a Damon Wilson, right? Where it's like, hey, you're a big part of the team. We love you. You have chosen to be wooed by, elsewhere by financial implications. And then it's like, well, whatever. That's the game, but we don't really have to respect it. Mark Mitchell was never supposed to be a villain. I even told, and Andy, I haven't even told you this yet. I told my 3-year-old, I said, buddy, it looks like your guy from last year, Mark Mitchell, might be going to Kentucky. And he goes, Dad, I thought he graduated. So, number one, the kids are all right.
That kid is so much smarter than a lot of adults in the room, man.
I'm pretty sure that can't happen because you told me he graduated. I'm like, yeah, down is up is down. But like, how does that bake in, Calum? And a guy, it's not like he chose this, but if $6 million or whatever it is falls into your lap and you're in that situation to pick it up, and Missouri, like, I can't even be mad at Dennis Gates. I thought if this played out, I would hold some ill will and say, man, you should have been able to see this coming. But like, I don't even know if I could argue that Missouri should pay Mark Mitchell that amount of money when they constructed a roster that didn't necessarily need him from a basketball standpoint.
That's true. That's true. I just want to ask, you haven't been teaching your kid about temporary injunctive relief?
I haven't. I thought I could wait another year. I thought I could wait one more year for that, and apparently I was wrong.
Look, this is. I see what you're saying there. It surprises me that Missouri didn't leave a spot open, because this looked like it was gonna. I was writing about this in April, man. Like this is something that we were talking about in April as a possibility, that like we all knew lawsuits were going to come from this. We all knew that the NCAA was probably going to lose those lawsuits because the NCAA loses almost all of the lawsuits it's involved in. It's I don't know if you necessarily blame the Missouri staff at all for not having, I guess, that foresight. I don't even know if foresight's the right word, but
Sure.
I think the chance that Mark Mitchell could come back to college was there. You know, and then you have to throw in the caveat of, well, they already spent a boatload of money on Bryson Tiller and Jason Crow and Tony Bryant and Jameer Jones and like, so it's such a tricky one. It's such I don't necessarily think the blame lies anywhere on any specific person. And again, we don't even know if it's going to happen. That's the other thing.
Right.
That's it's such a fluid situation. Again, I see why people are upset, and you can blame whoever you want to, man. It's not really like for me to tell you how to feel or how to react about this, but it's. I will say it's something we were talking about. It was something that we knew was 99% gonna be a possibility. And Mark Mitchell is a player that helps your basketball team. Mark Mitchell is a player that would improve your basketball team. So not keeping that option open to me until I'm told otherwise or given a reason to see it otherwise, I think that was a misstep. I think that was a little bit short-sighted. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, it could end up where here in a month from now, Mark Mitchell is playing for Missouri. I mean, it's not impossible. It's not like that. I'm done predicting stuff in college sports because that's just a fool's errand. But it seems filling up your roster at 15 players and not saying, hey, this might happen. That seems a little bit short-sighted.
That is where I was, exactly where I was until the reported numbers are out there on the salary. Right. Because I feel like the roster spot part of it, in my head, they'd find a way around it. What is that way? I don't really know. Like you said, I'm leaning on the notion of there are no rules anymore.
Right.
So I think the roster spot, like, you didn't have to fill, but I don't think in the budget you were leaving the type of money that could have allowed Mark Mitchell to fill that roster spot. If Kentucky is over here going, here's what we're willing to do. That's what actually changed it for me, is this reported notion of like, you know what kind of quarterback I could get for $6 million? Like, that's, you're talking about a basketball player who is great, but they built a roster. As you said, you listed off the players that they got instead. I think that's where it's like, you can't probably spend half your budget and go, well, maybe Mark Mitchell can come back. That's why I'm like, I was right there and I was ready to be kind of a jerk about it on the radio. Yeah. Like, I think Dennis Gates whiffed on this, but now that I assume Missouri's putting up money, but they're not putting up that kind of money. And that's where I'm like, I can't even be mad, I think, because I don't know if it's prudent to pay a guy that would have been like an add-on to your roster that amount of cash. I don't know. That's where I'm just torn.
And that's the thing. It's a position where Missouri is, I think, going to be very strong. I think they have forwards that are going to carry them this season. I think their length and their strength and the on the interior, I think they are going to be good there. So is it then, cost benefit analysis? Is it then worth shelling out millions and millions of dollars? Because we don't know the exact numbers, but I'd be willing to wager that's about the realm that we're talking. Is it worth to get something that is going to be quite similar to what you already have on the roster and somewhere that you're going to be quite strong already? Like, if this does happen, if he does go to Kentucky, I'm not going to sit here and blame Dennis Gates for filling his roster. I kind of agree with you there, Brendan. I'm not going to sit here and say that this was an egregious error back in May to fill those roster spots, and it was egregious error not to be able to come up with the cash to lure Mark Mitchell back. I don't think that's fair at all. I do think they're trying, though. I do think that they are attempting to bring him back. I do think that there is, so it's complicated, and I'm sure that, for fans, I'm sure it does suck to think this guy that you idolized and that you poured into for so long might be playing for someone who might be challenging for an SEC title next season. That's got to be a tough one to swallow.
It's going to be interesting. Calum McAndrew of the Columbia Daily Tribune here on the Big Show, KTGR, and the KTGR app. I guess we'll ask a football question for
Sure,
you.
the football.
Talk more about court injunctions. Like, I know it's fun. I mean, spend a lot of time on it.
Don't you dare ask me about Sterling Webb. I'm done talking about court injunctions.
You know what, Andy? I saw Calum's tweet, and I know you could probably get him going for 20 minutes about Bill Self.
Oh my God!
You said, which was simply that the administration got to see how the administration feels. Says the administration on the Mizzou Kansas rivalry game.
It's ludicrous, man. I'm so sick of hearing college coaches bemoan the state of the sport and then turn their back on the things that actually make this sport great. Like, it's just ludicrous. It's like, yeah, I could. It's bizarre. Extend border war. It is not a complicated thing. It is one of the great games in this sport. It's one of the great environments I've ever been part of in a sport and arena. Extend it. Put it on campus as well. That, like, enough of this neutral set. Like, stick it on campus, extend it. It is the biggest no-brainer of all time. And for somebody who controls every inch of that athletic department to the West, to come out and say that is just absolutely farcical. I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah. That's we see through that pretty easily.
Well done.
That's very well done. We'll have one football one.
Oh man, yeah.
At least let people know that we talked football.
Better make it a good one, yeah.
The one player that no one's talking about that you think is going to make an impact.
That no one's talking about. That's a really good one.
Or maybe less talked about than Austin Simmons or Jamal Roberts. Everything.
I don't know if this will fall into the category, but I am fascinated to see what Caleb Goody does at wide receiver. Man, just blistering speed. And I think when you pair that with the short area quickness and ability to separate of Caden Lee, what they want to do with their tight ends, maybe a little bit of 12 personnel in there and create some mismatches downfield with what Donovan Olubade does on the outside, I do think that will create some vertical lanes for Caleb Goody. I do think that will create some downfield opportunities for him. And then it's going to be whether Austin Simmons can find them. That is what one of it's one of the more intriguing questions in general for me is how explosive can this Missouri passing offense be, because it has not been for the past 2 years. That has been their Achilles heel. So I think he's on the spot. Yeah, I think that's probably on the offensive side of the ball somebody I'm really, really intrigued to watch. And then on the defensive side, I'll give you one as well. I'm really intrigued to see Sion Lalea. You don't find 6'4" corners on the side of every street. That's, we've seen him running with the ones quite a lot in camp, which has been interesting. And if you can get a corner with that type of length, if he is good at the act of football, if he understands scheme and he understands his role and he is a solid player all round with that kind of length, man, that is a heck of an addition. That is, I'd be really interested to see what he can do back there.
It's been interesting, kind of song and dance to figure out who exactly they like the most, especially in the secondary. There's been a lot of changing in and out, but
a lot of rotation.
Yeah, but that certainly, if he is up to snuff and he's doing all the things that they asked him to do, then you talk about just the specimen that you can place in that spot. You're right. It's going to be an interesting thing for Mizzou to maybe try out there. What can folks check out at the Columbia Daily Tribune from the camp?
And we're churning out stuff from fall camp and from apparently the Kentucky courts. So yeah, the two areas of specialty on my beat right now are fall camp and Kentucky legislature.
Looking up what the alma mater of the judge and everything like that. There's anything.
Yeah, man, I've got a ton of stuff. It's been a busy few weeks here. Really enjoying it. I'm so happy to be back when there aren't court cases and I can actually just talk sports. That's nice. We've got a ton over at the Columbia Tribune, so I'd encourage everyone to go read what I'm writing.
For sure, we're close. We're close to the games, and they'll be here very soon. We're gonna be ready for those as ever, and Calum McAndrew certainly ready as ever for it. Go and check out his stuff at the Columbia Daily Tribune. Follow him at @C_McAndrew95 on Twitter. Thanks for coming on the big show and talking courts with us. Let us know if you want to do that again.
Anytime, guys. Thank you.
Love it. Appreciate it. It's 4:47 on the big show, KTGR and the KTGR app. That's just, he had the perfect response to the Bill Self situation. Like
I knew I had to ask him about it. I knew we were short on time, but he
it's
crushed
perfect.
it.
It was perfect. Under the bus, obviously, to that. There's a lot that could go under the bus today. I think I need to single out Jaden Daniels, though. Like, that's a true one that needs to be done. That's next.
Now, your local Sports Center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Andy Humphrey. This Sports Center update is with Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee's sells it. Go to leestirecompany.com. We'll obviously be monitoring the court case in Kentucky. The hearing was moved to tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mark Mitchell is a plaintiff in a suit against the NCAA. He's not only seeking a fifth year of eligibility under their 5-and-5 regulations, but also a chance to enter the transfer portal through this suit that was reported on first by Matt Jones of Kentucky Sports Radio last night. It is also reportedly out there that Kentucky is making a big push to land Mark Mitchell should he have the chance to enter the transfer portal. We'll keep you updated on that tomorrow. In the meantime, the Cardinals and Royals are off today. Cardinals will take on the Cubs tomorrow with a 121st pitch, starting off an 11-game road trip. There'll be a game above 500 as they start that game. They enter today, 2.5 games back in the NL wildcard race. Royals were swept by the Dodgers this week, lost 4-2 last night. They're off today. They'll be at the Angels tomorrow. And Mizzou soccer kicks off their season tonight at 7 p.m. at Western Kentucky. It's year number 6 under head coach Stephanie Golan. Your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast is with Crutch's Custom Exteriors. Get your very own custom P platform, mowing services, or perfectly landscaped yard. CrutchesCustomExteriors.com.
Tracking a warm evening with temperatures settling in the low 80s and upper 70s tonight. Another chance to see the Perseid meteor shower to the northeast. Will be hot again tomorrow with the heat index up to 105 on Friday. That will be the last of our weather alert days as the heat index drops to around 100 degrees on Saturday and possibly Sunday. Still hot and humid for the State Fair this weekend. I'm meteorologist Nate Splater, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Over the years, it has meant the Gas House Gang, Stan the Man, Lou Brock, Bob Gibson, The Wizard, Big Mac, Yachty, Waino, and Pujols. All those names, and they provided so many memories. St. Louis Cardinals baseball, most importantly, has meant championship baseball. We'll be describing every play right here on the Cardinals Radio Network, powered by Gray Bar.
Mid-Missouri's total sports station, KTGR.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
It's summertime, and Aleve is here to keep you on the go. Whether it's planes, trains, or automobiles, Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of back pain relief with just one dose, you'll get to your destination and be ready for your next adventure. So pack your sunscreen, your shades, and your Aleve. No matter where your final stop, Aleve will keep you moving. From sun up to sundown, Aleve's got your back this summer. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Epic Bug Battle Raps. Brown Recluse versus Tick. Fight!
Yo, Tick, you think you're sly, but you're an amateur fighter. I'm a brown recluse spider, spitting venom, cause I'm a